Take a ragtag group of 18 to 25-year-olds.
They're gonna go for the 7 most ridiculous people that they can find.
Drop them in a hip city. Give them a tricked-out place to live.
Not even if you paid me, would I live with those people. But for TV, okay, I'll do it.
And roll the cameras 24/7.
People are gonna watch you wake up naked. You fart. You masturbate.
Welcome to The Real World, the fast-burning series that detonated the reality TV explosion.
Within about 2 minutes of watching the first Real World, you realized that MTV had sort of identified this new cultural ground.
Now, toss in some trauma.
I was pissed. He said some really racist bull.
Mix in some tragedy.
He didn't want to die. He really didn't.
Turn up the heat.
So there was a time when you were in a control room watching me have sex?
And top it all off with a dash of psychodrama.
He choked the cowboy on the 3rd day that we were living together.
What have you got? A red-hot recipe for chaos and anarchy. The most shocking revolution that ever rocked TV.
Once Ruthie and I jumped in the pool naked, it was no stopping anything else.
In the next 2 hours, we will enter the shower of shame in Miami.
You think it's a threesome in the shower when it's actually 2 girls being together and 1 boy.
Find out what it felt like to be slapped in Seattle.
I had his handprint on my face for 4 hours.
Confront the confusion in Boston.
What part of lesbian do you not understand?
And meet the characters who did it all.
This is a true story.
True story, true story.
Of 7 strangers
Picked to live
In a house.
And have their lives taped.
To find out
What happened?
When people stop being polite and start
getting real.
This is the real story of sex, lies, and videotape. And one very violated peanut butter jar. This is The Real World, the true Hollywood story.
The dream of being one of the world's
Her life's ambition was to be a star.
never recovered from the public scandal.
The whole generation has grown up now where everything you do is on tape. Your dad is shooting a video of your mother as you're coming out of the womb. Every time you blow out a candle or take a first step or get onto the bus, it's being videotaped on home video.
At the dawn of television, the creature known as reality TV was already stirring. In 1948, Candid Camera crept onto the scene. The dating game emerged in 1965, and Cops hit the street in 1989. This new breed of programming exposed and exploited the real lives of real people. TV historian Robert Thompson.
Reality television really gets its start in 1992 with the start of MTV's The Real World. This was something completely different. The idea was that you were going to take a group of people who had never met before, who had been carefully selected and cast, we're going to put them in a completely artificial environment, and then you were going to make a documentary of all this artifice.
In the fall of 1991, producers Mary Ellis Bunham and Jonathan Murray pitched the idea of a soap opera to MTV. MTV liked the concept, but network execs didn't want to spend the cash for a scripted series.
First thing that went, they said, well, we'll get rid of the writers. We'll do it without script. We'll get 7 or 8 actors, and they'll improv it. We'll put them up someplace, maybe just like one house, and they'll improv it. And from that came back the idea, like, well, do we need to get, like, real actors?
The answer was no, and The Real World was born. 7 young people between the ages of 18 and 25 would shack up in one house, while cameras captured their every move. Producers Bunham and Murray feared the concept would blow up in their faces.
The theory of The Real World was kind of like getting a jar of nitroglycerin, pushing it to the very edge of the table, and then letting a bunch of kittens into the room.
They said it was going to be kind of a new kind of documentary, you know, sort of dramatic. Our lives and how we live together.
It was a really cagey idea, this notion of making a documentary about a contrived situation. It seems like such a no-brainer in retrospect.
Part documentary, part soap opera, The Real World had something for everyone. TV Guide critic Tim Williams.
So a viewer can look at it and say, oh, I'm watching it because I'm actually learning something about people and the way they interact with each other. And then there's another part of it that you just want to see people having sex and getting drunk and going crazy.
Before the insanity could begin, producers needed to recruit a hip bunch of housemates.
I got a sense that they weren't sure what they were looking for. I think that they weren't interviewing thousands and millions, but it was more in the hundreds, if even that.
Many were called, but only 7 were chosen. Becky, the free-spirited songwriter. Kevin, the righteous one. Julie, the innocent Southern belle. Andre, the quiet musician. Eric, the hunky model. Heather, the outspoken rapper. And Norman, the painter. Prior to production, Norman let something slip that almost cost him his shot at fame.
I said, I date guys. And they're like, really? Can we have the contract back? We need to have another meeting.
And they said, well, we'll call you later. I don't know if this is going to work. And so he was kind of off the show for a little while.
But they decided to go with it. They asked me, do your parents know? I'm like, no. I mean, they come and visit. I guess they never really said, oh, hey, there's Paul, and he's sleeping in your room, and everything is just, life's a cabaret. So anyhow, they were like, well, it'd be really great if we could capture something like that on television.
And they said, would you be willing to tell them on the show? And he said, and he hung up, and he called his parents and told them. So I guess the answer was no.
Founder of The Real World's first website, Bonnie Burton.
At this time, I think it was still not very out-friendly, not just media, but in the world. And so you could be gay, but not too gay. And I think that's why they picked Norman. He's gay, but, there's Will and Grace gay, and then there's RuPaul gay.
How y'all like my outfit?
And I think they were trying to ease us into being comfortable with gay characters.
The Real World's maiden voyage set sail in MTV's backyard. On February 16, 1992, cameras rolled on the first episode of The Real World. The spectacular 4,000 square foot loft at 565 Broadway was in the heart of Soho, New York's hippest neighborhood.
And I remember just standing there and waiting and wondering if I really wanted to go through that door. I thought, yeah, this is going to be kind of, why not?
And all I remember was cords and wires and lights and stands. I'm like, how am I going to live in here? Everyone's like, why are you guys always naked on that show? I'm like, because the lights were hot in this loft.
Producers wanted the cast to generate even more heat.
They wanted romance. They were trying to get us to kiss each other or do something. And we just didn't want anything to do with each other.
The problem with Bunim and Murray is that they just can't let it be. Just let it go. Let these people be who they are and just let it unfold. So what if one of them doesn't hook up?
The roommates were encouraged to turn casual banter into high drama.
So they did come in a couple times like, so you just mentioned some stuff about gay with Julie, and we're gonna go back and maybe you could have that conversation again. I'm like, guess what? We're not actors, so you either catch up or you miss out. So that was always my policy, you catch up, catch up.
The cameras caught up just as Norman came out.
I knew that this could be a big thing or it could be a complete failure, and I wanted it to be an okay thing. I wanted it to be something like it was a matter of fact and nobody really even thought about it, that it was just accepted.
The videotape was piling up, but the producers were nervous. Would they have enough drama to make a TV show?
It's frustrating for them. They would sit there and be like, yeah, she's still watching Magnum, with these good cameras. Yeah, no, she's watching, Twin Peaks.
It was getting kind of bland, if you can believe it, and they were getting along too well, and the girls were a little anxious because none of them were hooking up, shall we say, and nobody was getting any.
Coming up, tastes forbidden fruit.
They knew that he liked me, and they said, if you go to Jamaica with them, you cannot hook up with Becky.
Then the LA cast gets down and dirty.
Living with you is like living with ghetto trash in high school.
And later, The Real World makes television history.
The producers had told us that one of our roommates was going to be HIV positive.
Hey, which never-ending pasta you guys getting?
Penne. With Alfredo sauce.
Spaghetti.
With the meat sauce.
Fettuccine.
With pesto.
You guys play tennis today?
Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl, just $7.95. Pick one combination of sauce and pasta, then another. Have all you want. Wonderful.
With Verizon Wireless Picture Messaging, you can share pictures that travel on the nation's most reliable wireless network. Even personalize them with sound and text. Just how much fun you have with it is up to you.
Okay, let's party!
Now get unlimited picture and text messaging for only $4.99 a month. Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you. Can you hear me now? Good.
Is your shower your favorite place in the house or in the universe? Experience Homme by Olay, the only body wash with a powerful fusion of botanicals and Olay skincare science. Homme soothes your skin and your spirit.
Hard day? Get away and come home to Eastover Ridge. Unwind in a friendly neighborhood setting moments from Uptown Charlotte. Eastover Ridge's spacious apartments and townhomes offer fabulous views of 2 pools and permanent woods. Treat your active lifestyle with exercise and sports, or just enjoy a leisurely pace in the country atmosphere. Plus, our 2 stylish clubhouses are available for group or intimate gatherings. It's a mini vacation every night. Eastover Ridge. Call today and get away.
College rivalries never die. That's why there's the ESPN Game Plan College Football Pay-Per-View Package. It's all the teams you want to see and all the ones you want to see beaten.
By the spring of 1992, production on The Real World was in full swing. The producers screened hour after hour of videotape, desperate for bits of juicy drama. But life inside the fishbowl was only fascinating to the fish.
It was so exciting just to be filming real people and what they're doing. You know, what are Julie and Heather doing playing Scrabble?
In an effort to create some sizzle, the female residents were sent on an exotic field trip.
You know, the producers were trying to kickstart some romantic action. So they gave the girls a trip to Jamaica thinking maybe we'd meet guys or they'd get a story.
So they sent them to Jamaica, hoping that someone would actually have sex. And of course someone did, Becky. But she didn't have sex with anyone that they thought she would have sex with. She ended up having sex with the camera guy.
We just were hanging out a lot. And he was, you know, there was an attraction. We were in Jamaica, and it just, you know, we just ended up having a relationship for a short period of time.
The rules are that if you're part of the crew, you can't hook up with the cast, you can't even talk to them.
The producer found out, he just knew we were together. I think we were walking out of his room or something like that, or saw my shoes in there. And
Becky's hot. I wouldn't put it past anybody. I mean, I think a lot of the other camera guys were kind of jealous that they didn't get to her first. But all of a sudden, we had this little meeting, and it was just like, listen, Bill and Becky has kind of crossed the line, and we're going to have to ask Bill to leave.
After that, it became a very, very rigid rule that the cast members were not allowed in any way, shape, or form to interact with any of the production crew.
Back in the Apple, sparks flew, but it was flashes of intense racial dialogue that fueled the fire. Kevin was usually the instigator.
He was very forceful and opinionated about racism, to the point where we were all racist no matter what we did. You know, if we liked Martin Luther King, well, he was the white man's black man, so we were racist.
Kevin often picked the naive Southern belle Julie as his target.
Kevin and Julie. Kevin and Julie. I just wanted them to have sex the whole time, didn't you?
On April 29th, 1992, sex was the last thing on their minds.
Those two are just like yelling and screaming. I'm like, what's going on? And you know, Julie broke it down and she said I was on the phone and he had a message coming through and he wanted to use the phone. We got into an argument over the phone. And she said, well, this is what happened. And she's like, you know, you spit on me and this and this and that. I said, well, show me exactly what you did. Of course, this didn't air, but, you know, Julie goes, spits right in my face. I'm like, is that what happened, you know?
That same day, Los Angeles erupted in violence following the verdict in the Rodney King case. The story led the national news and raised the stakes inside the real-world loft.
Well, then this argument, it escalates into like a racial situation. So all of a sudden, national affairs and everything else gets like funneled onto this phone.
The fight flared again, and all three rushed outside, followed by the cameras.
Julie and Kevin had a crowd of people around them, and they were just, and people thought it was a play because we're near NYU. They thought, wow, this is a cool play, you know, going on here. The two cameras are out there finally. But it was kind of really hostile. And once again, it was about a phone. People, it was about a phone. I guess that's how all these things start out, though, these arguments. You know, little things get to be big things.
Size didn't matter a week later when production wrapped on season 1 of The Real World. The 3-month experiment transformed every member of the cast.
I went into the project closed-minded, and I walked out of the project open-minded to take a step back, you know, and not judge people just because they look a certain way or they talk a certain way or they're dressed a certain way.
On May 21st, 1992, the first episode of The Real World premiered on MTV. Television would never be the same.
Within about 2 minutes of watching the first Real World, you realized that MTV had sort of identified this new cultural ground.
You're only going to see this on television. You can't just plop yourself into a house with 7 people and be a fly on the wall.
I think it's arguably one of the most interesting new ways to tell a story since the novel was invented these centuries ago.
The show's popularity turned the cast into overnight celebrities.
All of a sudden, your life just goes, it's like you go in a tornado and you get shot out of the top of the tornado, and where are you going to fall?
You felt like you got to know them. You felt like you really knew Becky and you really knew Norm.
They would exaggerate characteristics, like Kevin was just repeatedly the angry black guy. Norman was always gay, you know, and I was a hoe bag or whatever they wanted to do with me.
To this day, in the entire history of television, there is only one service that has ever had a generation named after it, and that's MTV, the MTV generation. You never hear the CBS generation or the Food Network generation. The MTV generation, everybody knows what you mean.
Producers Mary Ellis Bunham and Jonathan Murray knew they had a hit on their hands. MTV execs weren't so sure.
I think the people were concerned in the second season that it wasn't going to be as real because the cast members knew what they were getting into and they knew that millions of people were going to be watching.
The Real World was given the green light for a second season. Different cast, different city.
That seems like a no-brainer. I mean, you've done New York, now let's go to Los Angeles.
Coming up, a cast member gets the boot.
They're all seeing Tammy in her underwear, okay? Marla Wayans is on the phone listening to all this take place.
Smart is having associates who are passionate about pets, who give helpful advice to keep your pet healthy for life, and who always provide gentle, loving care. At PetSmart, you'll always find the help you need to make your pet healthier and happier. Maybe that's why more pet parents shop here than any other specialty pet store. PetSmart.
Now the natural extract of orange and the power of Mr. Clean come together in new Ultimate Orange, a formula so powerful it cleans this tough, greasy kitchen dirt better than original Pine Sol. And new Mr. Clean Ultimate Orange cleans your whole house with the fresh scent of orange.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house with the fresh new twist of orange. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Sometimes it just feels like you're working 24/7. Better get your priorities in order.
First things first, the 2003 Honda Clearance. It only happens once a year and it's gone before you know it. Get special APR financing for as low as 1.9% for up to 60 months on 2003 Civics. Life can wait. First things first.
I like it, I love it, I want some more of it. Don't know how they do it down at Applebee's, but I like it, I love it, I want some more of it. Eating good in the neighborhood.
Kids, dinner!
When you add Kikkoman teriyaki to your cooking, you're adding a time-honored tradition. Kikkoman, the original teriyaki.
Hi.
Hi.
Good and bad. That's the essence of every man. Essence, new from Axe.
Happy anniversary, honey.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
There's something I gotta do.
Oh, yeah? What?
I love this woman! I love her!
What are you doing? Stop!
Okay, then I guess this will have to do.
I love this man. I love him, I love him, I love him.
Maybe the New York people were drawn a little more from similar backgrounds, but by the time they got to Los Angeles, they said part of the appeal of this show is seeing really different people together. So let's try to get as extreme as we can with the personalities.
That's exactly what The Real World did for Season 2. In January 1993, 7 new Real Worlders were sent to a beach house in Los Angeles. The cast of opposites included John the Cowboy, Tammy.
I was the bitch.
Irene the cop, Dominic.
A very witty, yet kind of pain-in-the-butt Irish guy.
David.
Volatile as could be. Stand-up comedian, thought he was funny.
And Beth S., the aspiring actress.
It was the first time that they were going to have people live together for 6 months, because the first season they only lived together for 12 weeks. So I think the producers were really nervous about, gosh, you know, we've got to make sure there's a lot of conflict. So I think they purposely cast people that they knew that were not going to get along.
Well, this guy asked me if I'd be interested in being on The Real World.
I specifically remember in my interviews saying, you know, I can't stand country music.
Little did I know, he was looking for an 18-year-old country music singer. He pretty much had found the person he wanted and who his producers thought that they wanted.
I got a call that said, we've decided on you, and we're going to send you and another cast member, Dominic, cross-country to pick up another cast member, John, and then you're going to drive back. And I just remember being in my office screaming, oh my God, I got it.
Tammy and Dominic left New York City and drove 1,500 miles to Owensboro, Kentucky to pick up John. The trio continued on to the left coast.
By the time we got to Los Angeles, we already had knockdown, drag-out fights with each other, gotten under each other's skin, lived with each other for 10 days in a Winnebago. And so everybody else shows up to the house all smiles and eager to meet everybody, and we're like, how you doing? I hate this person, I hate this person.
Just looking at all the people, like, I can immediately tell, like, I have nothing in common with any of these people that I'm about to live with.
She and I became very close, but she had the reputation for being the drama queen. She would blow everything out of proportion. Oh, my cat is sick. Oh, dear heavens, my cat is sick. What am I gonna, and it's just like, get a grip, okay?
The 7 cast members moved into 30 Venice Avenue, just steps from the Pacific Ocean.
Los Angeles is a freak show. It's the freak show of America. Venice Beach is the freak show of Los Angeles. But guess who the freak show of Venice Beach was? Yes, me and my roommates.
Right from the jump, you get the premise that some of these people are not going to get along. And when I looked at everyone else, I immediately said, okay, I'm gonna stick with David. You know, we'll have some things in common.
Big mistake. Tammy and the rest of her roommates quickly discovered that 20-year-old David was a loose cannon.
This was early on in the experience. David and I got into it, and he made me mad. And actually wanted to fight me. He wanted to fight me on TV.
David lived in the house for 2 weeks. Barely 2 weeks, okay? He choked the cowboy on the 3rd day that we were living together. He choked him and flipped him over a chair.
On February 21st, 1993, David outdid himself.
What happened was this. Tammy, she dated everybody from Eazy-E from the group NWA to Marlon Wayans to all of these, you know, famous people. Well, Marlon Wayans had called the house, and she had been waiting on his call. Well, she had already gone to bed, so she's sleeping in nothing but her underwear and her bra, and she's in the bed. Well, she let it be known that if Marlon Wayans calls, she is to be woken up. So phone rings, it's him. We go and try to wake her up.
You know, David thinks he's gonna be cute because, you know, the cameras are rolling, and he starts to pull the blanket off Tammy.
David is always the jokester. And I really believe that he felt it was a joke.
She is furious that not only has he done this to her in front of all the roommates, but the camera crew, everybody that's gonna watch the TV show, everybody in the control room that's behind the scenes, they're all seeing Tammy in her underwear, okay? Marlon Wayans is on the phone listening to all this take place.
There was an incident that happened in my childhood, and for me, when he pulled the covers off of me and completely exposed me, it sent me back to that time, and I was completely unhappy.
And she comes out kicking and screaming. I mean, she is looking all over the house for David. She is looking in every closet. She finally finds him and kicks him. They get in this huge argument, yelling, screaming, ferocious. The fun had ended.
We went to the producers and basically said, look, we don't feel safe with this guy. We don't want to live with him anymore.
You know, in defense of everybody involved, even David, he could not have been aware that what he did would send me to a place that was uncomfortable for me. And it caused him to be eliminated from the show.
David was replaced by a mellow rocker named Glenn Nasons. In March 1993, producers decided to spice things up with a weekend survival course. The cast was bused to Joshua Tree National Monument, 100 miles northeast of Los Angeles.
Joshua Tree was sheer torture. I mean, being stuck with people that I'm not particularly fond of.
The intense physical exertion took its toll. Feeling worn out and vulnerable, Tammy revealed that she was carrying around a secret.
I made a wrong decision in my life, and I ended up pregnant. And I wasn't ready for a family, so I made the decision to terminate the pregnancy.
You don't necessarily see someone making a life decision and having it be filmed.
The producers actually didn't want to. They felt it was too graphic, too risque for MTV at that time. And I was really adamant about it. I was like, you have to follow me. This is why. People that watch this show need to see this process, need to feel what I'm feeling, what I'm going through.
The producers came around, and cameras followed Tammy through her ordeal. Bunim and Murray pressed the cast for maximum drama.
I said, well, everybody knows how I feel about Tammy's abortion. I hate it. But I don't hate Tammy. I love Tammy. But I hate the situation. They didn't want that. They wanted, no, no, no. We want you to look right into the camera. We want you to say, I hate Tammy for what she's about to do. Well, no, I'm not going to say that. I don't feel that way.
John held his ground and grew closer to Tammy. On April 4th, 1993, the LA cast lost its most stable member.
You know, there's a set of people in their 20s who actually do get married and actually do have careers at an early age. And I thought it was interesting that they showed Irene getting married.
Irene moved out, sweet as she could be, loved her to death. She was probably my favorite person that I lived with.
The Real World producers knew exactly who they wanted to replace Irene.
I thought back on all of my interviews that I had gone through, and I said, you know, I work at an HIV healthcare center, and I love gay men. I'm just such a hack. I think that's what they say on the streets. I absolutely love gay men. But I don't know if I'm really comfortable around gay women. And I think the producers remembered that And when they went to pick a roommate, they said, let's pick someone that's going to make Tammy uncomfortable.
Beth Anthony was anxious to push the envelope as television's first openly lesbian character.
We didn't have Melissa Etheridge out, totally out. We didn't have Ellen DeGeneres out. We didn't have anybody in the forefront saying, you know, I'm normal, I'm gay, you can do this, you know, suicide isn't the option, you know, life is. So I think it was just as important of an issue to them as it was to me, and that it needed to happen.
She came downstairs with a shirt on, said, I'm not gay, but my girlfriend is.
John Brennan was the first person that was there, and he greets me, and he's been in it for 3 months, so he's kind of like, hey, come on in, let's take a walk, I'll show you around, really nice. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. And then as everyone kind of filtered in, there was a lot of animosity there. People really didn't want to be nice to each other. I was homeless, but I was a firefighter, but I was a lesbian, but then I was, like, all this stuff. It's like you mention any situation, Beth A was there. She did it. She was there.
Plain old backbiting wasn't enough for the LA cast. In the 4th month of taping, Tammy cranked up the outrageous meter another notch.
I had found out about this dentist that would wire your mouth and you'd be on a complete liquid diet and lose all this weight, and so I decided to go for it and do it.
No comment.
It was a great moment for the show because it's the kind of thing that you talk about the next day with friends. Like, did you see the girl who had her jaw wired shut?
An incident happened and I really wanted to curse somebody out and I couldn't get my mouth open to say what I wanted to say. And so that was the only moment that I hated I had gotten that done, because I really wanted to light into that person and I couldn't get my mouth open to do it.
At the end of May 1993, the cast got word they were going to Cozumel, Mexico, but the change of scenery did nothing for group dynamics.
I got into a conflict with, I don't even know who it was now. One of the Beths. I think it was Beth A.
And I was smiling. I walked by Tammy and she said, don't smile at me, bitch. And I just lost it. I was like, living with you is like living with ghetto trash in high school. It just blip, 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 popped out. I was like, did that come out of my mouth?
I vaguely remember just wanting to just kill her, and it was John that kind of said, no, you know, we're going home, don't do this, you know, just let it go. And so he saved her life.
Coming up, the real world gets pucked.
No utensils ever. You will never, ever see Puck on that first show with a fork in his hand. It just doesn't happen.
And later.
Hey, you know, if you're going to have heterosexual sex tonight, could you please give us a call so we can come over and tape it?
You know what surprises people most about Jenny Craig's Ultimate Choice program?
It's less than I used to spend on fast food and lattes.
It's so convenient. It's almost like having a personal chef. Jenny Craig's Ultimate Choice gives you personal support with simple ways to lose weight even when you dine out or travel.
Do you know what losing 50 pounds feels like?
I lost 111 pounds. Now I'm half the mom and twice as much fun.
It's your final week to lose all the weight you want for just $1 a pound plus the cost of food. Call 1-800-JENNY20. Jenny Craig. It works.
Announcing the Cooking and Dishwasher Spectacular at Sears, where you'll find all ovens, ranges, and dishwashers on sale. So whether you spend more time cooking the meal or cleaning up after it, we've got what you need. We have a better selection than anyone. That's why 2 out of 3 homeowners have an appliance from Sears. We'll match any price, plus give you 10% of the difference. And right now, get 0% financing for 1 whole year, plus free delivery. So shop now at the Cooking and Dishwasher Spectacular. Sears. Good life, great price.
Honey, should we get the blue Jaguar or the green one?
Is something telling you it's time to get a Jaguar? Presenting the Unleash a Jaguar sales event.
Get an S-Type for $4.99 a month at your local Jaguar retailer.
Unleash one today.
Change is in the air. Crystal Air by Airwick.
With its designer glass frame, it'll change the way you look at air fresheners. Crystal Air by Airwick.
The best solution for dry skin isn't a bar, bottle, or pump. It's this cloth. New Olay Daily Facials Hydrating. With 80% more of what dry skin needs most. It hydrates better than leading dry skin cleansers for dewy, luscious skin. Forget the bar, bottle, or pump and get yourself a box. Olay Daily Facials. Love the skin you're in. A free customized sample is at olay.com.
Spicy! Boneless! Cool!
Chili's boneless buffalo wings. Want more flavor?
Chili's!
I like shoes. Shoes are the best part of getting dressed. People always tell me how cute my shoes are. That's why I love shoe shopping with my mom. She takes me to Payless. They've got red shoes and black shoes and shoes with stripes. When I'm getting dressed, shoes may be the last thing I put on, but they're the first thing I pick out.
Somebody's raising that girl right. Look smart, Payless.
The third season, of course, was the season of The Real World, where the rest of the world discovered this show.
The Real World took a bite out of Manhattan and shook up Los Angeles. Next up, the city by the bay. San Francisco casting associate Doug Mobley.
We wanted it to be an authentic San Francisco cast that represented what San Francisco was about and who the people of that demographic were. We cast an extremely wide net. We went to longshoremen's unions, debutante balls, where the bike messengers hang out.
They assigned a PA to find me, you know, in the city. And it's not that hard. I'm a bike messenger. So you go around and you ask all these people, where's Puck? Do you know Puck? And somebody gave my pager number. They called me. I said, don't call me. This is for business. And unless you're going to give me $10 right now, don't call this pager again. Click.
They did call again, and Puck answered.
They taped me, and I was really gnarly because I hate TV. And I wanted to show the camera like this that I hated TV. So I did the thing. I was like, hey, I hate TV.
It wasn't until very end, the very end of the casting process, when we're really fine-tuning what the chemistry is like between these people, when it was decided that there was nobody to stir the pot. So we brought Puck back in, and he charmed the pants off the execs, and they're like, oh, great, let's go with him.
Puck joined Pam the med student, Judd the cartoonist, Rachel the Republican, Pedro the activist, and two others already cast for season 3. In January 1994, the Magnificent Seven moved into a house on San Francisco's Lombard Street, also known as the crookedest street in the world.
It was a moment in time that I was absolutely aware that my life is never, ever going to be the same. And that rarely happens, that you're conscious of it, that this is so huge.
I think if you were going to look at a season of The Real World that was groundbreaking, it would have to be the San Francisco cast, and it would have to be the storyline involving Pedro.
Before we moved into the house, the producers had told us that one of our roommates was going to be HIV positive, so we knew that much. And then moving into the house, we didn't know who it was.
He doesn't know I'm homophobic, AIDS phobic. If this is going to be a thing where I turn around and say, I'm not sharing a room with him. But I asked him, so what do you do? He said, well, I'm an AIDS educator. And I said, oh, it's Pedro. Okay.
He had a scrapbook full of his speaking engagements where he had done lots of presentations about being a young person living with HIV.
You're all gonna have sex and you need to protect yourself.
In showing me the scrapbook, he basically revealed what his job was, and in so doing also that he was HIV positive.
He cracked me up because he had the worst taste in music. He's utterly void of any kind of taste in music, and it was always a matter of, you know, playing him something like, that's great, who is that? It's like, Beatles. It's the Beatles, Pedro. You never heard of them?
And then there was Puck.
The first time I met Puck, I believe, was at a speaking engagement, you know, and he went number 2 in his pants.
I think Puck was the person who set the standard in terms of being as gross and disgusting and vile as you could be on television.
He had a really bad temper, He would get particularly vicious. He demanded to be the center of attention, regardless if the cameras were there or not.
As soon as you tell me not to do something, like, okay, Puck, you need to take a shower, bro. Oh, that's automatic week extra right there. That's 5 days. I'm like a judge. 5 days. Gavel, you're done.
Puck was pretty abusive to some of the other people in the house and made some folks feel very uncomfortable.
I went after the little cartoonist guy. I went after the cute Hispanic Republican chick that doesn't have a gun. She doesn't even exist in real life. That's like a dodo bird.
Puck soon zoomed in on his favorite target, Pedro.
He's finding people's weaknesses and then he's tap dancing on it. And I think that's what he tried to do with Pedro, is he really wanted to tap dance on the stereotypes. He wanted to upset Pedro. He wanted to shake things up.
I don't think they ever would have chosen to be roommates had they not been put together in a situation like this, and that's sort of what the show is all about anyway.
No way would I live with those people. Not even for free. Not even if you paid me would I live with those people. But for TV, okay, I'll do it.
I think the whole Pedro-Puck thing, it needed to be done because it showed Pedro's side and it showed his vulnerabilities, and it showed that even though he was made into a martyr, he still gets pissed off when someone eats his peanut butter.
There was a jar of peanut butter that was bought by the production in the house, and so I figured it's communal.
Puck was eating the peanut butter with his finger. I don't even want to demonstrate, but he was eating it and he was putting his finger in places you wouldn't normally, and then you put it back in the peanut butter.
No utensils ever. You will never, ever see Puck on that first show with a fork in his hand. It just doesn't happen. I eat with my hands, like a caveman.
Pedro wasn't the only one who was tormented.
Everything is turned up a notch. What we call baseline sphincter tone is just tighter than it is normally. And so your overall stress level is heightened for the entire time.
We all sat him down and wanted to explain to him that, listen, you gotta lighten up. And that's all it was. Stop yelling at people, stop being so abusive. You know, stop being so damn mean to everybody in this house. And his attitude was basically for us to go ourselves.
On the one hand, you have somebody who's creating this amazingly intense drama, and that's what they want. Obviously, that's going to get ratings. On the other hand, you're watching these housemates tear each other apart, and one of those housemates has a fatal disease. So really, at that point, they had no option but to kick Puck off of the show.
The trophy to me lies in that I got myself kicked off TV. I didn't mind, okay? I knew what to do is to not change. I can be no shower. I can be in your face. I can do these things and still live my life. And you're gonna tell me to take a shower? And that's gonna be your big pivotal point? Come on, I'm out of here anyway then, right?
Puck was history. Pedro was feeling his oats.
Pedro and Sean, I think, had met prior to the show, but they really started dating while Pedro was living in the house in San Francisco. And I can't even imagine how crazy that is, not only to be dating someone, which is already kind of a crazy experience, but to be doing it on camera and have them both be HIV positive, which has its own level of issues, and be two men and everything that goes with it.
It was good to see Pedro having someone in his life that he was still having a relationship with. When you think of HIV and AIDS, you think these people are dying in caves somewhere, at least at that time. You just didn't think of them as having a life.
Sean made Pedro so happy, and Pedro made Sean so happy that it was just wonderful to witness two people falling in love.
On June 5th, 1994, Pedro and Sean exchanged vows in San Francisco. Real-world cameras captured the commitment ceremony.
They had friends speak for them and speak about their relationship, and I was really struck by just how much love there was in the room, and it was a wonderful day. It was probably my favorite day in the house.
Still, the moment was bittersweet. Nothing changed the fact that Pedro's health was failing.
He got night sweats. I noticed he was sleeping a lot more. I noticed he was losing a little bit of weight. He got blood work back, and his T cells had dropped to like 32 T cells.
Living with Pedro while I was in medical school and knowing very much about what 32 T cells means and how bad it gets in terms of the clinical picture made me very worried about Pedro.
In late June 1994, production wrapped on Lombard Street. When The Real World San Francisco premiered in July, viewers and critics were captivated.
What happened with Pedro and watching him deal with having HIV and, watching his health deteriorate was something that the American public had never watched on television before. And I think it really was one of the most intense seasons of Real World because it was tackling such a very serious life or death issue.
He didn't want to die. He really didn't. He didn't go to it bravely. He went angry. He went angry and pissed and knew he was being robbed. He got his message out. He got people's attention, and now they're ready to listen to him, and now he was going to die before he had an opportunity to talk to them again or even to enjoy it.
On November 11th, 1994, 22-year-old Pedro died in San Francisco.
He died without any pain, and he died with his family around him, as well as Sean, as well as his friends.
It was as if somebody, the fans knew had passed away, and I think that was really difficult for them to deal with.
But Pedro's odd luck held to the very end.
He had died early in the morning after the last episode aired, which couldn't make for a more dramatic opening line to his obituary. And we just said, you drama queen. You couldn't have died a day before or a day after or 3 days or a week later. Just so it makes the line hours after the last episode of The Real World airs, Pedro Zamora has lost his battle with AIDS.
Imagine cruising in your brand new Kia Spectra. You got the tunes cranked, the controls at your fingertips, and cash in your pocket. And with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, you're not worried about a thing. Just driving and taking in that new car smell. The real kind. Not that stuff that comes in a bottle. The Kia Spectra, loaded with features for thousands less than a Civic. Imagine that. Now get the Kia Spectra starting at $8,235 after $4,000 cash back.
Come on.
Growing up can be hard. Kleenex tissues are now mercifully softer than ever. Thank goodness for Kleenex tissue.
If you aged as fast as your cat, by 1, you'd be doing homework. By 5, you'd be fighting that middle-age spread. And by 7, you'd be working on those love handles. Change the way your cat ages. New IAMS weight control formula helps her lose weight. It burns fat and builds lean muscle so she can stay healthier longer. So forget cat years. Live in IAMS years. IAMS. Good for life.
The Minibar, redefined. Introducing Bailey's Minis. Original Bailey's in 4 mini bottles. Please drink responsibly.
Good hustle! All right. Help her out. Help her. Don't punch.
Back-to-school shopping can take you away from other things.
It's okay. It's okay. She'll walk it off. Mommy's okay.
Unless you go to Staples, where back-to-school shopping is easy. We've got all the supplies on your list, well-organized and easy to shop, so you can get on to other things.
Hi, Peggy.
Instead of missing them. Back-to-school shopping at Staples. That was easy.
Take the ride of the summer. Yes. Roger Ebert exclaims, people love Whale Rider. It's a true crowd pleaser.
No!
A film you do not want to miss. Nothing short of astonishing.
My name is Pakia Apidana, and I come from a long line of chiefs.
One of the best movies of the summer. Don't miss the internationally acclaimed award-winning film that has everyone talking. 2 big thumbs up for Whale Rider. Rated PG-13. Now playing in select cities.
Her death was only the beginning. Diana, Legacy of a Princess, the E! True Hollywood Story. All new Sunday at 9 on E!
When you hold the world speed record for sculpting balloon animals, to this audience, you're not just super fast, you're a superhero. And for insanely fast speed on the internet, millions call on Roadrunner High Speed Online. Research projects for school and find your answers instantly. In fact, 2 out of 3 households with high-speed internet use cable-based technology. Exceed your speed with Roadrunner High Speed Online.
Subscribe to Roadrunner High Speed Online now for just $29.95 a month for 4 months.
Now, you can control hundreds of hit movies and originals from 4 great premium channels for just $6.95 a month. Watch what you want, anytime you want. Wake up with The Sopranos.
Good morning, you.
Have lunch with Soul Food.
I think we should renew our vows.
With Time Warner Digital Cable, you control up to 4 iControl premium services, including Showtime On Demand and HBO On Demand. All for $6.95 a month with no charge per view. Call now and get it all.
After the emotional roller coaster of San Francisco, the real-world producers braced themselves for another wild ride. In 1995, London was the blinking dot on every hipster's radar.
What's more appealing to American viewers than London? I mean, that sounds so great to live there and be young and live in swinging London.
Season 5 gave new meaning to the phrase tongue-tied. But first, 1 German, 2 Britons, 3 Americans, and a model from Australia were summoned to London's ultra-hip Notting Hill district.
I was in a nightclub in Berlin. It was a Friday night. It was 4 a.m. or something. I was pretty wasted. And I was just hanging out, partying with my friends. And this guy, he was like my age, he was like early 20s or something, came up to me and he's like, hey, are you between 18 and 25 and speak perfect English and want to live half a year in London for free?
It was going to have, this sort of international feel and be a little bit more, highbrow, a little bit more interesting, a little bit more intellectual.
I'm not sure they had that many preconceptions about us as Europeans. Obviously we wash less and we eat funny food.
It could have been an interesting dynamic. The only problem is that Europeans are very well behaved. And so you didn't have quite as many fights as you wanted.
They hadn't told me the rules, that I was supposed to be, generating excitement. We were just doing as any bunch of strangers would in a plush house, which was sitting around having a good time and not really arguing that much.
A few weeks into the season, the show got bloody interesting.
I think the one incident from London that everybody remembers is when Neil had his tongue bitten off. That was during a rock concert.
I wouldn't call it rock, wouldn't call it punk, but it's British and they're in latex and they've got some talent. However, one audience member didn't think they had talent. He was a drunk guy.
They'd actually put the cameras down beforehand because it was like the 4th or 5th gig they'd filmed and they were like, oh, well, it's not that interesting.
One thing you learn very quickly is never French kiss a heckler who's drunk in the middle of a pub while you're doing a show because the guy bit off his tongue.
I ended up being pulled off the stage by my tongue, bitten it. And he fell backwards, pulling me onto the ground.
He had to have it stitched on. It was a big mess, a big bloody mess, basically. And it became pivotal in the show because he couldn't talk anymore. He had to actually type in a la Stephen Hawking into the computer and it would repeat back what he said. So his cute little British accent was taken away from the show, unfortunately.
They loved it. It's the first interesting thing that happened for weeks in that house.
All of us who had crushes on him thought it was extremely dramatic and impressionable, and we all wanted to be his nurse.
I think London is distinguished for 2 reasons, and they're related. I think we were the last season that was truly hands-off and documentary style, but we were also the most boring season.
With season 5 looming, producers decided to spice things up. Real World Miami introduced 7 new wonders to the world, including Joe the Hustler, Mike the Player, Melissa the Uptight Cuban, and Dan the Drama Queen.
They had 40,000 applications and they picked 7 people. Do you think they're gonna pick someone who's just status quo, middle of the road? No! I mean, they're gonna go for the 7 most ridiculous people that they can find.
You find out what really makes people tick, what really got them on the show, and each of us are on that show for a reason, and it is a whack reason.
First thing I thought when I looked at all my roommates was, I don't like any of these people already. Like, I have been here for 30 seconds and already I hate everybody.
In case hostility didn't do the trick, a new twist was added. The Miami cast was put to work.
They told them they had to start a business. And that actually turned out to be a huge dud as well because they couldn't get their act together and they never started anything.
For our season, they had a $50,000 deal where they gave us money to start a business as a group of 7. So that sounded good to me, being a business student, being in school at the time for my MBA.
They all had to come together as a group, live together as a group, and work together as a group. And of course, it failed miserably.
At the beginning, it's wonderful. It's all, hey, we're all going out together, everybody's cool, and we're happy we're in this experience together. And then it just falls apart.
And this is what the whole season was them arguing. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna do videos? Are we gonna have a coffee shop? Are we gonna have a bagel shop? Are we gonna have a consulting business? They had no idea what they wanted to do.
The business was a fiasco, but when it came to creating spectacle, the Miami cast was Hall of Fame material. The infamous shower incident was the season's high watermark.
Yeah, it was funny, and yeah, it was really dirty, but the way it was edited, like this whole what happened, did they or didn't they thing, we know exactly what happened.
I know what happened because of my relationship with Mike, who was one of the people in the room.
Mike is sort of the player of the house, and he brings home a waitress because sometimes you bring people home to the Real World house because it's a great house to bring people home to. And they decided they're going to have a shower together, and of course Melissa, who we never really thought was that sexually active, gets a little intrigued and joins them in the shower.
The thing I love about the threesome is that the other housemates knew it was going on, and so they sort of went to where the bathroom was, and they were up above it trying to look down in a window.
The truth of that is, yeah, you think it's a threesome in the shower when it's actually 2 girls being together in the shower and 1 boy watching who's completely wasted out of his mind, drunk, and he can't even physically perform.
America, drinking before sexual acts, your hydraulic systems, they just sometimes tend to malfunction.
When the hot water ran out, cold, hard reality set in.
Melissa and the waitress sort of sobered up, and they were upstairs, and the waitress looked at her and said, I gotta go. And so they went tearing down the steps, and the guy in the booth saw them on the spy cameras and was like, quick, go to the front door. Melissa and the waitress are leaving. The sound guy, not knowing where to go, jumped into the middle of the street, and Melissa just drove right into him. And she was going like 5 miles an hour, and so he just kind of bounced off, rolled off the hood of the car.
Miami was the first Real World house to get round-the-clock scrutiny, 24/7.
You don't sleep naked anymore, or you just wait a while before you get comfortable with the fact that people are going to watch you wake up naked. You fart, you masturbate, anything. All of this stuff is gonna get on.
We learned how to have really fast fights. Yell at each other, get it all out, and then just be done. And by the time a camera crew would come out, we'd be done. Be like, and so we were like, you stupid bitch, done.
All spring long, the Miami roommates battled each other. But in June 1996, the invisible wall between cast and crew was shattered.
One of the crew members of the Miami cast was having a relationship with Rachel Campos from the San Francisco season.
I believe he was a sound guy that was just more friendly than everybody else.
So it was very hush-hush, and they kept it that way for a long time. And they were engaged to be married, and they had a real valid relationship. But unfortunately, tragedy struck, and there was a car accident where both of them were involved, and unfortunately, he did not make it, and Rachel had very severe injuries.
The producer actually brought us outside and said he had something really important that he wanted to talk to us about, and he didn't want to do it in the house because he didn't want us to even think that we were being filmed. He was being shut down. He has something personal to talk to us about off record. And he told us that the crew member had been killed.
But the cameras rolled again until the cast said their farewells. In July 1996, ratings for the Miami premiere were the highest ever.
It was so over the top that you wondered, was there going to be a murder towards the end of the season?
Coming up, the slap heard around the world.
I had his handprint on my face for 4 hours.
And later, a cast member cheats death.
He knew I was in Boston, and he knew that I was probably going to take that flight back to LA.
Style. Between Bel Air and Beverly Hills, you could feel it everywhere. For this was the era of glamour, elegance, and romance. An era personified by one man, Humphrey Bogart. Now Thomasville presents the Bogart Collection, piece by piece, room by room, all designed with the style and elegance of one of Hollywood's most romantic legends. The Bogart Collection, only from Thomasville, where style lives. Everything at Thomasville is now on sale, including the Bogart Collection for the first time. Special financing available.
Wait. I think I forgot the camera.
No, you packed it.
Can I check?
I don't want to stop. I'm in the zone.
You're in the what? Okay. Ryan, can you just check?
Fine.
You're the best.
Yeah, I know.
Automobile Magazine calls Ford Focus the best small car to drive. Someone already knows.
You're good.
And now every Focus comes with 100,000-mile powertrain coverage.
You know what I think? We forgot
Nice try.
If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
Today, DVD collectors are gonna shout. You know you make me wanna. Digitally remastered with 5.1 audio. Own National Lampoon's Animal House Double Secret Probation Edition. Now.
There's a lot of choices out there. Arm your kids with something good. Wholesome Nutri-Grain Minis, now with tasty yogurt icing.
Now the natural extract of orange and the power of Mr. Clean come together in new Ultimate Orange, a formula so powerful it cleans this tough, greasy kitchen dirt better than original Pine Sol. And new Mr. Clean Ultimate Orange cleans your whole house with the fresh scent of orange.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house with the fresh new twist of orange. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
My hair color does something yours doesn't. Because it's new Garnier Nutrice, the only hair color that nourishes with grapeseed and avocado oils. Rich, radiant color, all because Nutrice means nourish. So hair takes color better and holds it longer, root to tip. And speaking of color, nourished hair means better color. And grays? Gone. Guaranteed. Can your hair color do all that? New Garnier Nutrice. Nourished hair, better color. Garnier. Trust them. They're experts.
This portion of E brought to you by Once Upon a Time in Mexico. In theaters September 12th. Buy your tickets online at showtimes.sonypictures.com.
I looked outside the door and saw a camera crew sitting out there, so I'm thinking, great, I'm living in an old fire station and it's like 27 degrees outside. I'm going to spend 22 weeks freezing my rear end off.
In January 1997, Genesis, the lipstick lesbian, Jason, the poet, Cyrus, the ladies' man, Montana, the college student, and 3 other new cast members warmed up to the idea of living in a former Boston firehouse. Bone-chilling cold wasn't the only change from the previous season. Unlike Miami, the Beantown roomies were given real jobs.
The job they gave us on the show was to work with children in the after-school program.
We were so freaked out from our life in general that how are we going to counsel kids, you know, or work with kids?
A few weeks into season 6, cast members took their young charges to Philadelphia to hear President Clinton speak.
I was responsible for my one kid, who I could not control. His word to his mom was, "I'm gonna eat till I puke," okay, before we left. This is what the little chubby kid said. Everything was free, so the kid was like grabbing ding-dongs, stuffing them in his jacket. All of a sudden he gained 10 pounds because stuff was stuffed in his jacket. On the other end, if you wanted to grab something to drink, you could.
That's the thing you don't want to ever have the real world people do, is work with children. We want to see them having sex. We want to see them going crazy. We want to see them drinking. You can't drink with small children.
Montana had brought some kids there with her and Sean, and for whatever reason she wasn't thinking, she wasn't using her common sense, and the kid asked to take a sip of the wine and she gave it to him.
She gave an 8-year-old kid a glass of wine? We're not in France. If we're in France, that's cool. You know, in Spain, they don't give a crap. You can give a kid a beer. That's fine. In America, at an after-school program, she gave a kid a glass of wine. She got canned.
Back at the station, another roommate was going through her own trial by fire.
They casted me in the hopes of being a closet heterosexual because I was Little Miss, you know, wearing dresses and high heels and makeup. Like, how could this girl possibly be a lesbian?
I knew she was gay from the minute I met her. I have a gaydar, and I was like, I knew she was gay. But I think everybody else was a little shocked because she was like the hot blonde in the house, you know. Maybe let down, I think, would be the right word, like maybe Shawn and Cyrus, but sort of bummed out she was gay.
Didn't make any sense. Either you like a hole or you like a stick. I don't know what you want me to say. Whole stick. They kind of fit together.
And like, what is that supposed to mean? What part of lesbian do you not understand?
Genesis used to hang out a lot with drag queens, and she used to go out to these clubs and with all this techno music, and it was, you know, she'd come home at 5 in the morning, so I think she was going through a really confusing time in her life.
When Genesis stepped out on the town, the control room sat up and took notice. They were hoping for a special kind of Boston Tea Party.
Because I gave the production company no real material for me, all they had was me and my best friend that was a drag queen. So through this magical editing process that they do, they actually made an entire episode making it look like my best friend and I had some sort of romantic thing going on.
His name was Adam, but at night when he would become the drag queen, he was Eve.
The producers would not give up.
They would make jokes to me. We're gonna have heterosexual sex tonight. Could you please give us a call so we can come over and tape it?
Everyone she met that wasn't gay wanted to turn her into a straight person.
They wanted so badly for me to sleep with a guy, and when I didn't, I don't know if I pissed them off or if I let them down or if they were just upset because they couldn't pigeonhole me.
In June 1997, production wrapped in Boston, and the real world soldiered on. For season 7, the producers moved the show to the Seattle waterfront, where the cast included Irene the neurotic, Steven the angry one, and Lindsay the motor mouth.
The abandoned pier was out of control. I've never lived in a place like this in my life.
In the Seattle season, they had a whole pier to themselves. I'm sure Real World 20, they're gonna have a whole country to themselves.
The house was the coolest thing. We had a climbing wall in our house. The jacuzzi, stay away from me. That was the nastiest thing I've ever. I don't know what happened in the jacuzzi, but stay away.
The thing that was so great about the Seattle season is that it started off with these 7 people who seemed very normal. Everybody was very mellow and, you know, seemed to really click.
But cast member Irene McGee never fit the real world mold.
So there was conflict because I was getting more and more upset about the process of the show, the farther we were all getting from each other emotionally.
Fast forward halfway into the season, and you have Irene, who's going crazy.
Irene felt manipulated by what went down on the pier.
They'd say, oh, Irene, it looked like you and whoever were getting along, but at one point, you know, so-and-so rolled their eyes, and we just talked to him and did his interview, and I'm not going to tell you what he said about you, but if he did say he hated you, and then, you know, obviously this puts ideas into your head, and then you have to live with these people.
Irene soon tired of living under a microscope. After a confrontation with roommate Steven, Irene left the show in one of the most disturbing of all real-world moments.
I said, Steven, do you have my stuffed animal? And he said, no. And I said, well, come outside with me. Walk me to the car, I have a present for you. And he said, oh, okay. And then I took him outside, and I was like, oh, you know we can never get married. And he said, yeah. And obviously I said, because you're a homosexual.
He walked up to her and smacked her through the window with his hand.
I had his handprint on my face for 4 hours. But what hurt much more than that was being hit. And the way I was hit, I was staring at this entire crew that were literally maybe 5 feet from me.
The cameras kept rolling as Irene's car drove away. The real-world Seattle was down to 6 people.
I got a page on my pager 15 minutes later that said, please return your microphone. Thank you very much. That was the last I heard of the show.
Now, I saw it on tape later when the crew showed us, and that's when we had to decide whether Steven, you know, should get help or he should leave the show, or, you know, what his outcome was going to be. And I mean, to this day, I was still shocked about it.
Stephen was allowed to stay, but required to take a course in anger management. When the episode aired, Irene's departure was explained as a result of her bout with Lyme disease. Irene saw things differently.
I left the show because I was ethically opposed to how they create the show. I left because it wasn't for me.
Coming up, the Real World cast hangs 10 in Hawaii.
I got out and slung, and was hanging and everything.
Smart is having associates who are passionate about pets, who give helpful advice to keep your pet healthy for life, and who always provide gentle, loving care. At PetSmart, you'll always find the help you need to make your pet healthier and happier. Maybe that's why more pet parents shop here than any other specialty pet store. PetSmart.
I like it, I love it, I want some more of it. It keeps on coming, can't get enough of it. Don't know how they do it down at Applebee's, but I like it, I love it, I want some more of it.
Get all you can eat of Applebee's new rib tips. But don't wait too long, because this deal will be gone before you can say,
I like it, I love it, I want some more of it. Eating good in the neighborhood.
Can you hear me now? Good.
With Verizon Wireless Picture Messaging, you're always ready to take, send, and receive pictures. Even add your own text and sound. All with the nation's most reliable wireless network.
Can you hear me now?
Good. Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
This is a Honda certified used car. Even if you take away its 150-point inspection, its comprehensive 12-month, 12,000-mile warranty, and its concurrent 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, you're left with one undeniable, completely comforting fact. It may be used, but it's still a Honda.
For a limited time, get special APR financing as low as 4.9% for up to 60 months on all Honda certified used cars.
Okay, you're all hooked up.
When you get just a basic high-speed connection in your house, something happens. It's always open. Really open. Open to all sorts of things you just don't want getting in. But add AOL for broadband, which works with and enhances any high-speed connection and help protect your home from viruses, hackers, spammers, and anything else you don't want getting in. Call now to add AOL to your high-speed connection.
Aloha debauchery. Real World Hawaii was all about nudity, sex, and just complete drunken stupors.
The Real World Season 8 scored 6 Waikiki Beach. In January 1999, 7 lucky strangers, including Ruthie the Wild One, Justin the Quiet One, Amaya the Weepy One, and Tech the Crazy One, moved into the Hawaiian hula pad. Paradise would never be the same.
You had the coming together of really good-looking people in a really exotic place, just partying.
Tech and Ruthie showed up first.
You tried to go, so it was like there was nothing else for us to do, you know? I mean, hey, I've seen what you have, she's seen what I have, you know, so let's just do the darn thing, you know?
The darn thing was skinny dipping. When the other housemates showed up, Tech welcomed them in all his glory.
I got out and slung, and was hanging and everything, and Amaya was like, kind of freaked out.
It's kind of disconcerting when you first meet somebody and the way that you initially have contact with them is them hugging you while they're butt naked.
Ruthie got out, she was naked, you know. I think they thought they arrived at a nudist colony or nudist camp or something like that.
They're all naked. And it's great because this is going to be kind of setting the precedent for the rest of the season.
That was day 1. On the second night, the cast went out for a few drinks. Ruthie had a few more.
We all drank, you know, we were young, but she drank a little more excessively than we did, you know. So it was all, well, it wasn't all good. It was all bad the second day, and she had to go to the hospital.
Ruthie's case of alcohol poisoning left the cast shaken and stirred. The drama was milked for the show.
They interview you once a week on camera, and you have to talk in the present tense to narrate the story. We got so many questions about Ruthie being an alcoholic that eventually we just answer as though she was an alcoholic.
Ruthie's drinking episode generated the highest rating in the real world. The show's first official romance sucked in even more viewers.
I think that from a production standpoint, Colin and I hooking up on the show is like a wet dream. This is fantastic television.
I think they made them America's sweethearts because they thought this'll work. This is cotton candy. This'll work.
Colin and Amaya had a young puppy love situation, relationship going on. I mean, that's all it was. They reminded me, they seemed like they were like 13 or 14, you know.
But the 24-hour taping took a toll.
I don't think that any kind of relationship could really mature in a normal fashion if it's being captured on tape.
In March 1998, the cameras also caught Ruthie driving down a highway. She was reportedly intoxicated, and the producers wisely took action.
The producers intervening when Ruthie had gotten into a car after having been drinking, that was necessary for them, definitely, because it is a liability.
If you can handle your business and function and do what you're doing, then you do whatever you do. Skydive, wrestle alligators, get drunk, I don't care what, you know, climb down chimneys, do what you do. But when you mess with me, you start climbing down my chimney, that's when I have to get involved.
All the cast members have been talking about Ruthie's problem over and over behind her back in real-world fashion, and finally they decided, with the producers' help, that they really did need to intervene with Ruthie, or else she was going to drink herself into a frenzy and probably hurt herself on the show.
First of all, Ruthie wasn't drunk every single day, but watching the show, you think that's all Ruthie does, is drink. And that's not entirely the case.
Paradise was getting old fast. Then, a miracle arrived in the mail.
So I opened up the envelope, and there was a map of the whole world, and it said pretty much you can go wherever the heck you all agree upon.
It took the cast about 20 minutes to decide.
We went over there, man, it was crazy. We got to see the Taj Mahal, got to do some shopping. I was like Michael Jackson, you know, it was crazy. They would call me Michael Jackson and Eddie Murphy. I don't know if they see too many brothers over there, you know. I thought I looked a little more like Chris Tucker.
There's feces in the street and children running around with no shoes on, and people are living in these very tiny, tiny homes, you know, and women are repressed, and there was a general beauty about the place. People were still happy despite the fact that they were living in adversity.
It's crazy. I mean, to see the culture over there, to see how people are living, you know, to see that we really are blessed in America, that we need to stop tripping, fly right.
Instead of just trying to get them all to have sex with each other, they tried to get them to actually open their minds.
The cast may have become more spiritual, moved in a different direction.
I think Hawaii might have been the beginning of a shift. First, that the cast was really young. The second thing is it seemed to get more kind of, I don't know, salacious. There was more Jell-O shots and nakedness and being drunk, and I didn't get it.
Did.
Wish I could drop in and hit the...
Hawaii was the highest rated season of Real World that they'd ever had, so they realized that they had something good going there.
Once Ruthie and I jumped in the pool naked, it was no stopping anything else. We set it off. Our Real World, the Hawaii Real World, set the standards for what's on television today.
Coming up, a Mormon goes to Mardi Gras.
I was kind of boy crazy in New Orleans.
Later,
you go to Las Vegas and all of a sudden, you become somebody else.
I'm sorry, I was driving too fast.
No, really, totally my fault. The good thing is we're okay. There's so many more important things in life.
If I'm not mistaken, you must be gelling.
Like a felon.
Are you gelling yet? Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles are made from the softest gel ever created. If you and your shoes don't feel outrageously comfortable, you get your money back. Guaranteed.
Come on, move it! Listen to that yelling. He's so not gelling.
Are you gelling? Dr. Scholl's.
When I look at Steve and Jenny, I just think, wow. Now, there's a guy who shouldn't be getting married. You should have seen him a week ago at his bachelor party. There was dancers all around him, and he was crying, I don't want to get married. I don't want to get married. And I'm like, shut up, man. She's loaded. Because that's what's important. You know, that love.
There's a reason women keep using Nivea Silky Shimmer Lotion. It's the natural light-reflecting pigments. They create a shimmering finish for your skin. The kind of natural radiance that makes it look nearly flawless. From Nivea.
At Romano's Macaroni Grill, you can have your pasta any way you want it. With Create Your Own Pasta, you choose from 4 pastas, 8 sauces, and 12 toppings to make it just the way you like. Romano's Macaroni Grill, into our kitchen and into our heart.
The best solution for dry skin isn't a bar, bottle, or pump. It's this cloth. New Olay Daily Facials Hydrating. With 80% more of what dry skin needs most. It hydrates better than leading dry skin cleansers for dewy, luscious skin. Forget the bar, bottle, or pump and get yourself a box. Olay Daily Facials. Love the skin you're in. A free customized sample is at Olay.com.
Ben and Jen reunite, and Britney gets even with the help of Jared Leto. Celebrities Uncensored 8, all new tomorrow at 10.
Buick, official car of the PGA Tour, announces extra golf bonus cash on select models. Make your best year-end deal. Then current Buick owners get up to $5,000 total cash back on new 2003s, $4,750 on the award-winning Century and Dynamite Regal, $5,000 on the remarkable Rendezvous, an incredible $5,000 total cash back on LeSabre. See your Carolina Buick dealer today.
Every Schlage lock is built on one simple premise. You can never have too much security. Which is why no one gets past a Schlage lock, unless you want them to. Stop them with a Schlage.
I feel sorry for the cats in New Orleans. They had a lot of living up to do. It's like when you go to high school and the senior class just wins the championship, you know what I mean? And you're like, oh, dang, now we got to win the championship.
In 2000, The Real World's Hawaiian House Party set a new rating standard for MTV. When season 9 moved to the Big Easy, network execs held their breath again. Julie Stouffer became The Real World's first Mormon.
I was at college walking around campus and there was all this buzz about the Real World auditions. They had everybody come in a room and they were asking you every question imaginable, from like, what's your favorite cereal to how many times a day do you masturbate, like everything you can imagine they're asking. And I answered the questions, and I won't tell you what I answered.
Julie's answers and personality did the trick.
And I started freaking out. I was like, whoa, cool, this is gonna be so fun. I'm like 19 running around my apartment, but and I hadn't been telling anybody that I was trying out because there was kind of like this buzz that if someone got on The Real World, they'd get kicked out of BYU.
Julie decided to take a chance.
I think ultimately my thought in my mind was, well, they advertised this in the school newspaper, and if I go down there and if I don't have sex and if I don't do all these scandalous things, they can't kick me out of school.
She actually ran into some problems with her university, BYU, because she was breaking a lot of rules, that they have in the Mormon faith.
I was kind of boy crazy in New Orleans. There were I dated a bunch of people down there. I'm not really proud of it, but I was scandalous for a Mormon.
She was living in a co-ed environment. She actually slept in the same bed as someone from the opposite sex. So it was sort of a big question mark while she was on the show whether she was going to be admitted back to the university.
The question was answered when the show aired in July 2000. A few days later, Julie got a phone call.
I answered it, and it was a reporter, and he was saying, I'm looking for Julie Stouffer. I'm like, I'm Julie. what is your reaction to getting kicked out of Brigham Young University? And I was like, Jeff, you're messing with me, shut up, and hung up, thinking it was a friend playing a joke on me. The next day in the mail, I got a suspension letter from BYU. And I was like, what? They didn't tell me, nobody called, nobody asked me. And so I called them and I said, you know, did you look at the show? Did you watch the show? Because nothing went on, you know, I didn't do anything.
BYU claimed that Julie violated the school's honor code. Julie was unfazed.
I was just like, you know what? If I'm not wanted here, I don't need to be here. There's plenty of good schools.
She had a huge transformation over the course of that season. I think that was probably one of those the most dramatic character changes we've ever seen in somebody.
I found out that I'm on a Trivial Pursuit game. There's actually a card that says which cast member from The Real World was suspended from school for her involvement with the show.
In 2000, The Real World was about to turn 10. The production team decided to try something new.
Our season was unlike any others in that what they wanted to do was have a finals that they wanted to air. So when we were notified that we're 1 in 26 people and 7 are going to be for Real World.
MTV rented a house in Palm Springs, California. The producers hoped the week-long party would reveal which potential cast members could take the heat.
And they had 26 of us live together for like this, you know, little 5 days in this little, you know, like Mexican-style villa that was off the hook. But we couldn't like leave the compound basically, except for like 1 hour a day, where we'd all go to the liquor store and just get so much drink, it'd be ridiculous.
The first day we get there, started introducing myself to people, you know, trying to get to know one another. Like, basically, it was the fakest thing I've ever seen in my life. Everyone was like talking about issues, abortion, government, like who you had sex with.
The casting experiment proved to be too much of a good thing.
They figured if we could get all these 26 people, we'll find guys that like girls and girls that like girls, or guys, you know, like they'll find the relationships that they want. And I think they'll probably never do it again. They told me that. They're like, it's just too hard to film 26 people.
Big City Malik and Small Town Mike both made the cut and joined 5 other housemates for season 10 of The Real World, back in the city where it all began.
New York was like the beginning, you know, they wanted to like kind of come full circle and like for the 10th year, you know.
The series had evolved for a decade, yet racial issues still ruled the roost.
To break out of Parma, Ohio, which is basically all white people, and then go to New York, the most diverse place you'd ever be, it's like scary.
But for Mike, it was about to get even scarier.
You know, I was pissed and I said, that ain't cool, and now everybody says I'm the bitch.
She just went off because she just thought I said, like, white people are better than black people, and white people are smarter than black people. And I was like, no, it's not what I was trying to say. It was just, you know, I was ignorant.
People are still talking about it. So, you know, look at your watch. It's 2 years ago, man. Move on. It's just Real World.
Malik is just such a good-hearted person, and so he was like, listen, Mike, you don't know a lot about, you know, cultures and like diversity and all this stuff. I've majored in this stuff.
I took him to Harlem for his first time, and at a dance club, like he was the only white guy in this entire club. You know, I'm dancing with these 2 beautiful sisters, and I'm like, wait till you see my boy. And they go, who's your boy? And I point to Mike, and they see a dude posted at the wall with a sweater tied around his waist, you know, sipping a Mandarin and Sprite. They're like, that white boy right there? So he starts getting his groove on, and these girls go, oh my God, I'm hanging out with white boy all night.
When Malik wasn't educating Mike, he was romancing Hisela, a feisty contestant from MTV's Road Rules.
That girl, man, oh, she'd make you melt just watching her dance. It's just off the hook.
I think Hisela just wanted to be on TV a little bit more. And so she basically manipulated Malik to believe that she liked him, she was in love with him.
She would like grab me, take me away, and be like, okay, you know, let's go make out in the boys' bathroom, you know.
She's always around the cameras, like making out with like Kevin, making out with Blair right in front of him. It's like, what kind of girl is this?
That's the thing about Hisela is like, you know, she made Rachel kiss a girl for her first time. I mean, she wants you to have so much fun and be on the freaky side. Like, she likes to hook up, you know. She's not having sex with all these people, but it's like the fun of just making out, you know, like that's what she's into. Little drunk make-out sessions is
Coming up, Real World Chicago lowers the bar.
So there was a time when you were in a control room with other people watching me have sex.
car of your dreams is waiting. The Infiniti FX and Motor Trend's 2003 Car of the Year, the G35 and G35 Coupe. Visit Infiniti's limited engagement sales event. But hurry, with special APR financing on select models, the car of your dreams could be gone.
Tailgate redefined. Introduce original Baileys in 4 mini bottles. Please drink responsibly.
Now the natural extract of orange and the power of Mr. Clean come together in new Ultimate Orange, a formula so powerful it cleans this tough, greasy kitchen dirt better than original Pine Sol. And new Mr. Clean Ultimate Orange cleans your whole house with the fresh scent of orange.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house with the fresh new twist of orange. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
With the never-ending pasta bowl, whatever you choose, it's like getting a strike every time you bowl. It's never-ending pasta bowling. Too far, too far.
Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl, just $7.95. Pick one combination of sauce and pasta, then another. Have all you want.
Are you hungry?
Now you can turn your whole fridge into a food sanctuary. Introducing the new Kenmore Elite side-by-side from Sears. Totally redesigned with precise digital controls and varying temperature zones to keep everything at its optimal temperature. Food has never been so well taken care of. It's another reason 1 out of every 2 homeowners in America have a Kenmore appliance. Kenmore, only from Sears.
I love stories with happy endings, and I'm not talking fairy tales. New Excellence Cream Hair Color from L'Oreal is a whole new triple protection story. 1, the special pre-treatment heals and seals the ends of my hair. 2, the rich non-drip color cream protects my hair as I color. And 3, weeks of deep conditioning for rich, beautiful, natural color, no grays. Excellence Triple Protection Hair Color. Oh, stories like that. New Excellence Cream from L'Oreal Paris. Because you're worth it.
Take the ride of the summer. Yes. Roger Ebert exclaims, people love Whale Rider. It's a true crowd pleaser. No! A film you do not want to miss. Nothing short of astonishing.
My name is Pakia Apidana, and I come from a long line of chiefs.
One of the best movies of the summer. Don't miss the internationally acclaimed award-winning film that has everyone talking. 2 big thumbs up for Whale Rider. Rated PG-13. Now playing in select cities.
Unfortunately, I had to miss the 10th anniversary reunion whole fiasco or whatever went down backstage, but I heard it went down real pretty ugly, you know.
After 10 seasons of high ratings and high drama, all ex-Real Worlders were invited to Los Angeles to tape a reunion.
We were there for 2 days. What were we supposed to do? We're gonna do a photo shoot, we're gonna do interviews, we're gonna do another photo shoot, we're gonna have a party.
70 former cast members met at a local soundstage.
It was really cool. Everybody was there together. That's probably never going to happen again.
The largest collection of real world folks ever put together were put together under one roof. It is amazing that this room did not cave in from the size and the sucking of ego and whatnot.
All of a sudden we realized that, you know, individually we're very weak, but together we could be strong.
After talking to everybody, we were pretty much in unison that, hey, you know what? We've taken advantage of, and let's go on strike.
Somebody had this idea of doing a lunch break, just like handing out this letter saying, you know, if we don't get paid at least, I think it was $5,000, you know, then we're not gonna be available for this group photo.
Okay, you guys, so the plan should be this, that we should all leave. Before we leave, we get everybody's numbers, and we organize our own party, and the press will come to us.
You know what, Beth getting us to walk out and petition this, that's a great idea. I realize after, 9 years of ignoring her, suddenly let's take her seriously and listen to what she has to say. Great.
And then 1 hour turned into about like 4 hours later, and it was just like chaos. People were all voicing their opinions and screaming.
Norman was like passing around a paper, you know, sign this paper if you want to go on strike. And so So everybody sign.
It was like written on some napkins, I think. Like, Dear President of MTV, please take us seriously.
No, I don't think it was a napkin.
Some people who are very high up at MTV got involved, and they were like, you know, tell these kids they can't take us hostage and blah, blah, blah.
Unfortunately, it never occurred to anyone that you go on strike before the contracts are signed.
At the end of the day, no, we never got any money.
Everybody got 2 passes to the MTV Awards, which I guess just put everyone over the top and folded up like a cheap suit, and that was it. It was all over with.
The Real World became the first reality show sold into syndication. The deal was worth millions. And the show went on. Real World Chicago kicked off on July 10th, 2001. Kara, the daddy's girl, and Theo, the preacher's son, made sure season 11's melting pot was a jacuzzi.
Within 20 minutes, we all had our bathing suits on. We're in the hot tub, and we're sort of going around and sort of saying why we think we were cast. And, you know, Anissa and I are high-fiving. I'm like, you're Jewish. She's like, you're Jewish. I'm like, that's awesome, you know? We're like, you know, Jewish people aren't usually on The Real World.
Who don't like to be in a hot tub chilling? So we all just decided to get in. They didn't say, hey, why don't you all go sit in the hot tub? It was just, everybody wanted to get in. It was our first night.
I think there is no way you could do The Real World without the steady moan of sexuality playing pretty loudly in the back of every single episode.
It's no secret that sex sells. And to be honest, I think that they realized that with the ratings from the Chicago season, it was, you know, the highest rated Real World. And I credit a lot of that to my bedroom activity.
You have night vision cameras in the bedrooms.
And I was like, don't think those cameras in there aren't picking up. I was like, don't think they're just monitoring motion. They're not doing that. Why would they put them in there?
The biggest victim of the cameras in the bedroom was Kara, who definitely had some action while she was in Chicago.
Even though Kara was aware her nightlife was taped, she was stunned when the Chicago shows aired.
I was hanging out socially with one of my favorite directors. I kind of asked him, I was like, so there was a time when you were in a control room with other people watching me have sex? And he kind of looked at me and said, yeah, but you don't understand. It's not, I wasn't looking at you like Kara. I was looking at you that I have a TV show to make, and I understand that. But when he told me that, I just lost it. I felt really violated and really disgusted, and I was like, well, you have sex now, I'm gonna watch.
We saw things that we had never seen before. We saw, you know, them under the cover, wrapper being thrown on the floor, you know, much sexier and much more intrusive than they had ever been before.
It sounds so stupid now. I actually forgot that there was a television show that was going to come out of this.
But no one could imagine what happened next. Images that are now frozen in time.
September 11th was not a traditional day for us in the Real World house, in that we actually had a photo shoot that morning.
The producer comes in and he says, the World Trade just got blown up, got hit by some planes, you know, and we're like, yeah, right, man, come on. Just like anybody, because we didn't see it. We were out, we didn't see this. And we're like, yeah, man, whatever, come on. He was like, nah, we're serious, you know. So if you guys need to call anybody, if you know anybody in New York, you can go ahead and call.
It was the only time that the producer actually stopped rolling the cameras for, I think, 3 hours. He turned, and there actually, like what we referred to as the wall between the crew and the cast was broken, and we all kind of hugged and cried, and we were using their cell phones to try to get through to loved ones.
The horrifying day hit even closer to home for Julie Stouffer, a member of the New Orleans cast.
I'd been flying all over doing these appearances for weeks, and I was going to be home for like 2 days, and my boyfriend and I were going to need to spend some time together. And when I called him to tell him when my flight got in that next morning, it was the night of the 10th, he had something else he had to do, and he couldn't pick me up from the airport. It was a 7:35 flight, I believe. And so my alarm went off at like 6 or something, and I was still mad from that conversation the night before, so I was just like, forget him, I'll go on the noon flight, and I just hit my snooze and went back to bed.
The plane Julie missed was American Flight 11, which crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center at 8:45 a.m.
So then I woke up, Cyrus called me, was the first person that called me the morning of September 11th. And he knew I was in Boston, and he knew that I was probably going to take that flight back to LA. And he was, panicked. He was like, "Julie, are you okay? Where are you?" And I told him, I'm fine. And he's like, "Girl, turn on the TV." And when I saw the flight go across the bottom of the screen, it was awful. It was like, I don't know, it's just like if you feel like you have a million different emotions. When I finally got a hold of my parents, my mom was just in hysterics, and she was just crying, so happy, and they'd been praying and they'd been hoping that I was all right.
AT&T Wireless has the latest, greatest phones. With M-Mode, you can play games, text message, find your way, or even take and send pictures. For a limited time, save $150 in the new Nokia 3650 camera phone. So to get the coolest in wireless, trade up to AT&T Wireless. And you can get hot deals on cool phones. That's M-Life. From AT&T Wireless. Hurry and switch today.
I like it, I love it, I want some more of it. Don't know how they do it down at Applebee's, but I like it, I love it, I want some more of it. Eating good in the neighborhood.
It's not done till I say so. It's not done till I say so. Here I come. It's not done till I say so.
The best solution for dry skin isn't a bar, bottle, or pump. It's this cloth. New Olay Daily Facials Hydrating. With 80% more of what dry skin needs most. It hydrates better than leading dry skin cleansers for dewy, luscious skin. Forget the bar, bottle, or pump and get yourself a box. Olay Daily Facials. Love the skin you're in. A free customized sample is at olay.com.
Today, DVD collectors are gonna shout.
You know you make me wanna shout.
Digitally remastered with 5.1 audio. Own National Lampoon's Animal House Double Secret Probation Edition. Now.
Everybody comes to Hollywood. They wanna make it in the neighborhood.
I got the fresh kick, thick hips, best believe me. And Madonna about to hurt them like a tag team. You gon' love us in our Gap jeans. We walk by, people ask where you get them jeans.
Get into the groove. Let me show you some moves. Best to take it from me. Get into the groove.
Hard day? Get away and come home to Eastover Ridge. Unwind in a friendly neighborhood setting moments from Uptown Charlotte. Eastover Ridge's spacious apartments and townhomes offer fabulous views of 2 pools and permanent woods. Treat your active lifestyle with exercise and sports, or just enjoy a leisurely pace in the country atmosphere. Plus, our 2 stylish clubhouses are available for group or intimate gatherings. It's a mini vacation every night. Eastover Ridge. Call today and get away.
Imagine the stars of the Animal Kingdom lining up in the order of the alphabet for the Playhouse Disney A to Z event. For 26 about a new animal from Stanley. The fun starts with A for Armadillo and ends with Z for Zebra. Starting September 1st, watch Stanley weekday mornings at 9:30, 8:30 Central and see a different animal guest star from A to Z. Playhouse Disney A to Z, a special event only on Disney Channel.
Sponsored locally by Charlotte Eye, Ear, Nose, and Throat Associates. Visit one of their 9 convenient locations today.
A friend of mine who handles a lot of the film industry in Las Vegas called me, and she said that the Real World's interested in coming to Las Vegas. They're thinking about going into a casino.
In 2001, the Chicago cast of The Real World proved that sex sells. Ratings soared. So when production geared up for season 11, the show moved, where else? To Sin City. Palms Resort and Casino owner George Maloof.
Got in touch with the producers during our construction, worked a deal, actually remodeled. The timing was perfect. So we actually did the deal about 6 months before we opened the Palms.
Checking the cast into a casino for 6 months presented some unique problems.
Our thing is we wanted the cast members to be over 21, and we didn't want anybody to talk about drugs. That was it. So as long as that was cool, it was all their show.
Still, Maloof wasn't about to gamble on the High Roller Suite. He made sure the 28th floor was a playground, complete with a pool table, full bar, and jacuzzi.
We probably spent close to $1 million. Had to come in, redo, 6 rooms, take out 6 of our rooms. So we wanted to keep the design and the same feeling, at the same time make it a real fun place where the kids could come in and enjoy themselves and try to be as real as possible despite living in a brand new casino.
This Vegas season was off the chain. I mean, this Vegas season was, man, that's good television. That was good TV. I mean, man, you had the threesome like on the first day. That's better than skinny dipping. They upped the bar.
I think what the producers were going after was just 22 episodes of sex, and more sex.
You go to Las Vegas and all of a sudden you become somebody else, no matter what. And they knew that. They knew that they were going to throw these kids into Las Vegas. They're going to put a jacuzzi in their tub. They're going to be on the penthouse floor. They got a casino downstairs. They got access to every evil thing on the planet in Las Vegas. You knew exactly what was going to happen. They played those kids.
24-hour debauchery in the casino made it tough to keep the location secret.
The word got out, and then the local media got, word of it, and the gossip columnists, and then it just all started. And we just denied for a long time. People ask me, is that real world? What? Never heard of it.
Playing dumb was one thing, but there was no denying what went down when the cast went upstairs. The hijinks surprised even real-world veterans.
I went to go visit the production, and one of my friends who's a director, he just looks at me and he goes, I'm not lying to you, Malik, within 9 days, everyone has either fought or had sex.
You're putting a bunch of young, attractive people into a house together in a happening, hip city, and they're not going to be exchanging bundt cake recipes.
The Palms, even the cast job in Vegas was fun, booking parties into the hotel nightclub. But fans didn't know what to think of the Vegas season.
I have had people come up to me and they're like, oh, I thought you guys were great, but Vegas is awesome, and that's great. And some people come up and they're like, Vegas is just too trashy, I can't watch it.
Pretty soon you'll have runway models with lobotomies just drooling on themselves because it's just getting more vapid, and the people are getting more beautiful and more beautiful.
It's like a big sexploitation. That's all it is. Let's get them drunk. Let's pay for them to go out and drink, and then we'll pay for them to interact with each other. And of course they're gonna drink, fight, and that's the order that they want. Bing, bing, bing.
Not surprisingly, the ratings rocked. The Palms Resort hit the jackpot.
Originally, the most famous suite in Las Vegas was the Elvis Suite at the Las Vegas Hilton. The Real World is now the most famous suite in Las Vegas, and people are fascinated by it. They want to see it, they want to rent it, they want to feel it, experience it. It's pretty incredible.
But like all winning streaks, this one had to end.
The final episode, they did a helicopter ride of the Strip. And I'll tell you, it was an emotional experience. When they left, it was sad.
Coming up, how far can the real world go?
They either have to go to a trailer park or do it from space. Either one would be fine.
A princess mourned, exposed, targeted.
She told me I have threats since the divorce.
Her death was only the beginning.
Not a day goes by there's not a story about her.
Diana, Legacy of a Princess, the True Hollywood Story. Featuring an exclusive interview with Mohammed Al Fayed. All new Sunday at 9, only on E!
On an all-new Michael Essity, Mila Kunis grooves on some good vibrations.
I'm just going to work on your energy. See, feel your feet tingly?
The Michael Essity Show, Friday at 10:30 on E!
With Verizon Wireless Picture Messaging, you can share pictures that travel on the nation's most reliable wireless network. Even personalize them with sound and text. Just how much fun you have with it is up to you.
Okay, let's
Now get unlimited picture and text messaging for only $4.99 a month. Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
Can you hear me now? Good.
The minibar, redefined. Introducing Bailey's Minis. Original Bailey's in 4 mini bottles. Please drink responsibly.
Take the ride of the summer. Yes. Roger Ebert exclaims, people love Whale Rider. It's a true crowd pleaser. No! A film you do not want to miss. Nothing short of astonishing.
My name is Pakia Apidana, and I come from a long line of chiefs.
One of the best movies of the summer. Don't miss the internationally acclaimed award-winning film that has everyone talking. 2 big thumbs up for Whale Rider. Rated PG-13. Now playing in select cities.
Is your shower your favorite place in the house or in the universe? Experience Homme by Olay, the only body wash with a powerful fusion of botanicals and Olay skincare science. Homme soothes your skin and your spirit.
Style. Between Bel Air and Beverly Hills, you could feel it everywhere. For this was the era of glamour, elegance, and romance. An era personified by one man, Humphrey Bogart. Now, Thomasville presents the Bogart Collection, piece by piece, room by room, all designed with the style and elegance of one of Hollywood's most romantic legends. The Bogart Collection, only from Thomasville, where style lives.
Everything at Thomasville is now on sale, including the Bogart Collection for the first time. Special financing available.
There's a state where the national pastime is the game of what if. What if all cars were turbocharged? What if innovation were the official currency? Saabs are made in a state of independence, where freedom is held as tightly as the road. Welcome.
The Saab 9.3 Linear Sport Sedan, available during the Everyday is Independence Day summer sales event for as low as $299 a month.
This portion of E brought to you by Saab. Welcome to the state of independence.
We always thought the old Big Brother from Orwell was that the cameras watching us was going to be some oppression that we wanted to go away. Little did Orwell know that rather than saying, please make this oppressive Big Brother go away, we would be applying 70,000 strong to please, please, please let the cameras of Big Brother focus on us.
Each year, record numbers of 18 to 25-year-olds dream of 24-hour surveillance.
It's the kind of show that you can reinvent every season. You bring a new cast in, you have a whole new set of characters, and you have a whole new set of situations. And that's why I think in a lot of ways it's the perfect show.
In the spring of 2003, the United States and France were a world apart politically. But when Real World Paris premiered on June 3rd, viewers said c'est la vie. Once again, the show posted big numbers.
This show should be stopped. It's awful. It really is. The new one I just watched in Paris.
The Real World series has caused some cast members sleepless nights.
Real World it took my life somewhere where I didn't think it was going to go, into the celebrity realm. And once you're a celebrity, it's like, what do you do with that? What kind of ownership do you have?
In 2002, Season 1 veteran Norman Corpy wrangled a herd of ex-Real Worlders to star in a film called The Wedding Video.
10 of us got together and made a movie. We're like, okay, we have a certain audience, let's use it. Like, we all got together and shot this movie.
Clint, I'm almost about to say something nice, so move close.
Norman's co-director, Clint Cowan.
The whole wedding video idea came about when Norman was videotaping Rachel and Sean's wedding. How perfect it would be to incorporate that into something like a parody of the Real World.
What I figured out when I had my epiphany is I said he made a movie that captured Real World's personalities, but it's not about Real World.
Because halfway through it, you forget that you're watching Real World people, and I think that's the beauty of the whole movie.
Such is the beauty of the movie. Therein lies the beauty.
The Real World is one big happy family, happy and dramatic family, if you will. So, we're always out supporting one another, whether you like the person or not.
The Real World family didn't always get along, but they're always connected.
I'm really good friends with Colin and Jamie and Eric Neese, of course. I've been friends with them for years.
I just shot a DVD spring break special with Puck, Ruthie, Jamie, and Rachel.
Now, I'm not saying necessarily if I was going to go hang out on a Friday night that Tammy'd be the person I would do that with, because we're so different.
It's like if I call John, he's still going to be, you know, Tammy? You know, that's still him.
If I got stuck on a desert island and I had to spend it with one of my cast members, it'd be Sean.
Elka and I probably bonded the most. We went from not liking each other to probably we're the only two cast members really in touch with each other to this day.
And Maya's always on IM. She's always logged on.
I see Justin now, and he's great. He's really happy.
Coral's my girl. I love Coral. Theo's my boy. The Miz, Mike from New York, that's my boy.
I saw Ruthie. Oh, Ruthie's actually spent the night in my apartment before. I forgot about that.
I'm still in touch with Jacinda, and I saw Kat and Sharon and Lars at the reunion.
We did invite the producers, John and Mary Ellis, to come to the wedding because they're the ones who are responsible for bringing us together.
If I see Judd and Pam anywhere, oh, they better just expect a big scene.
I have nothing against anybody on the show.
Beth and we still remain good friends.
If you hear a lot of the things that people say about me, it's very high school and very elementary school name calling.
Beth and I just don't get along. I try to get along with this girl, and we don't get along.
Norman is a bitch, what can I say?
I'm completely at peace with everything, and my life has been so blessed because of it.
The Real World television series has become a permanent feature of our cultural landscape.
What do you do with a show that's been on this long, that's been in fabulous cities, that pretty much has had every stereotypical teenager, 20-something, from strong Jewish character to weak, naive hillbilly to disgruntled Irish guy to, well, anyone that'll have sex in a shower. There's not a lot more you can do with it.
They might have to start letting people smoke blunts to cool them down in the house, you know? Let them get a little weed smoke going on in the house, and then maybe it won't be so many arguments.
I see the real world coming to an end. I mean, the real world as we know it is going to end.
If it made more money for the real world to start casting chimpanzees, they would do it in a heartbeat.
We were some sick person's experiment, you know? Lab rats? No, let's do it with humans.
I'm still waiting for the Real World, Road Rules, American Idol, Fear Factor crossover. I cannot wait till Ruben has to eat a dead rat and then hook up with someone from Paris. I mean, seriously.
They either have to go to a trailer park or do it from space. Either one would be fine.
When you tell the history of this new storytelling form, reality television, Chapter 1 is always going to be the real world.
Wait, this is the true story.
Oh, I could probably just remember bits and pieces of it.
This is the true story of seven.
This is the true story of 7 strangers picked to...
And how their lives, how's the rest of it go? You know it.
Did I leave that apart? The real world. Whoop-de-doo.
This is the true story of when the Miz came to E! True Hollywood Story.